Welcome to More Than Mindset, the only podcast that bridges the gap between spirituality and success. Go beyond the mind with clarity and confidence coach Kim Guillory and learn how to integrate your passion to serve with your skills and experience to create a business you love. Let's get started.
Hey guys, and welcome to 2020. This episode is airing in the new year. What we're going to talk about today is everything to do with new beginnings and assessments and creating. I'm super excited about this. So if I looked back at myself starting 2019 and ending 2019, guys, I'm pretty much unrecognizable. Not just in the way I think and the way I show up, but things that transpired in my life this year that changed, like just who I am as a person, how I do business, who I am in relationships. Like online business and in-person business is just completely different. We were laughing at the local business. Still have a integrative wellness facility where we do fitness and yoga and massage, all things mindfulness. And about the middle of the year, I told the girls we cleared off a wall and I was like, let's put sticky notes of everything that we want to create moving forward and let's just go to town in believing it. Well, we never got around to it. And when I noticed something, it was the end of the year and things were kind of falling apart. This instructor wasn't going to come anymore and these classes were changing. And I found myself kind of standing there in anxiety, kind of empty-handed, like, what's happening? What's going on? I'm not sure. What have we done? Or where are we going from here? Kind of thing. This was just the last few weeks. And then I noticed that wall was still a blank wall. And so I was telling the girls, I was like, I think we created nothing. It's like we pretty much dissolved what was that wasn't working or what was that used to be. I don't know. And looking at this blank wall, I was like, we really need to get to work and dial in and put something on that board so we can decide what we're creating moving forward. Because I do believe we truly created what we put on the wall. Oh my God, it was crazy. And, that's just, I believe so much in our beliefs are everything. And our belief was kind of like we're not sure. Being in business for this long here, it's over 20 years. And, I've tried a lot of things. I've fallen flat a lot of times. I've tripped over my own feet. And then sometimes we've gotten super lucky and things just transpired in a way that was unimaginable. But what I've learned the last few years is how to really create on purpose, how to be in power and control, not only of my life, but also of my thoughts, of my relationships, of my wealth, that ability to self-regulate and self-manage, to be able to turn things off and on. And that includes traffic and revenue and, what we are offering. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in there and mention, I thought it was really interesting. And I'm going to ask you that. What did you set as an intention to create at the beginning of this year? And then what was your result by the end of the year? And something you did created that result. In other words, inaction or action. What you are doing something to get the actual results that you got. And so if it's, I didn't achieve the goal that I wanted, you did something to get that actual result of not achieving the goal. Does that make sense? So today we're going to talk all about assessing. So doing a new year, or shall I say, year assessment in order to move forward into the new year. So I'm going to give you these tangible steps for you to try for yourself. I do this in my own business on a regular basis, but for sure at the end of the year, because I'm always asking the question, what do I want to learn now? What do I want to learn next? What have I not figured out yet? Where do I want to grow? These are the questions that I ask myself. And that very final month of the year, I look at my investments and I reinvest in what I want to achieve the following year. So I did that last year. And it was this podcast and Facebook ads, which I ended up not doing. I invested in learning how to do the copy for it and kind of how to show up and present, I'll say, kind of begin to create the platform foundation. But I've not mastered Facebook ads or figured out how to scale with Facebook ads or any of that stuff. So that is on my agenda for this year. I am a big believer in personal development, growth, and investing and making my money back and figuring out how to get better and do better. So that's just me. Hopefully you too. If you're in business and you're listening to this, then for sure, consider it. It's the best thing ever. So this is what I want to talk to you about is reviewing. I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask. So you can put this on one page or you can have 3 separate pages. I like to use those big sticky pads, like the big tall ones that go on a stand. And the first thing is what went well this year? Like everything that went well. Just go all the way back. What are the things that you've learned? Maybe it's improved relationships with yourself. Maybe it's mastering your mindset or like really understanding more about energy and spirituality and how you can integrate all of that into your business. Just what went well? What did you get the results of? Whether it was a surprise or not, be honest about it, because sometimes it's just, it just happens and we're like, oh, that was great. How did that happen? And we kind of think it was a fluke. Not true. At some point in time, you set an intention and then you let it go. You got out of the way and then it came in. This is how it works. It's so crazy. And the problem is then we believe, oh, I couldn't possibly have done that. We thought it was a fluke. And then it's our new thoughts that actually stops it from happening again. Psych. All right. So what went well? Write it all down. Really take your time with this. Every little thing counts, whether you did it intentionally or not. What went well? Even if it was surprises, what didn't go well? Write all of that down. All of the things that you tried and failed, every time you tripped on your own feet or your own idea, every time you put out an offer and it landed nowheres, all of the consultations that you did that you didn't close, like all of the things that you believe didn't go well. And then on that same list, really look at if you can dial in really clearly on what you think it was that didn't go well. In other words, don't just say like, I put an offer out and no one answered, or I offered a retreat and I didn't have any responses. Like that's not clear enough. You want to know all of the steps that did not go well. And the third thing is, what will I change or adjust? And so it looks like all of these things went well. All of these things did not. What am I going to do moving forward? So I noticed before I started doing this work and getting really clear on creating that I was just kind of letting everything be luck or in like, it must be outside of myself. It's the universe or God, or if it, it's supposed to be, it'll just happen, like, and not doing anything intentionally. And this is to start teaching you a process so that you can do things on purpose. So looking back, getting present, so that you can be aware so you don't continue doing the same thing unconsciously and getting the same results. Alrighty? So you want to know what you're creating. Like, what is it that I want? And then when you go to work and you find all of the things that you don't want, that is the contrast that's going to help you to find exactly what it is that you do want so that you can get super clear. Because clarity is how you manifest. It's clarity and confidence. And it's the courage to put yourself out there. It's the courage to believe. It's the courage to continue that actually brings the results. So first step, getting present. What went well? What didn't? How will I adjust? Get yourself really, really clear. Become aware of everything that's happening. Don't just trust your head, guys. Really makes a difference if you write this down. Because then you can unravel, so that you can discover, right? This is what happens. The unconscious is super sneaky and it wants what's familiar and it wants to just keep doing, it's got this idea that something is supposed to look a certain way and it wants to keep doing that. And what's happening is that's why you keep creating the same results that you don't want. It's unconscious. So it's how we think something is instead of unraveling and unveiling so that we can actually see what is, not so much our unconscious thoughts about what it thinks is truth, but what we know is truth. And how we know this is by the results that we got. Results don't lie. And those results were driven by your actions, no matter what. If the result is 0, or if the result is 6 figures, it doesn't matter. There is something you did in the action line. It could be, I believed heavily in myself and I took action accordingly, and my action looked like a Facebook Live 3 times a week, sending out 3 emails a week, posting on my Facebook page, building a group, going out and meeting new people, telling them what I did. It could be all of those things. They add up. And the way you'll know is if you actually did that. Here's the components that you have to know that creates those results. So you have to think it to create the feeling that will compel you to take the action that is aligned so that the results can just come. You have to think it, you have to feel it, and you have to believe it so deeply that you take the actions to achieve the results. No way around that. Even when you say it was a fluke or it was just luck or it just happened to happen, I'm telling you guys, it is intentional. At some point in the game, you felt really, really, really good about the hope that you had. You saw it clearly. You felt it to the bones. You got super excited about it. And then you kind of let it come to you. I find that the less we know at the beginning, we kind of get these little hits of belief. But we don't realize the simplicity of how they happened. And then we go screw it all up because it happens. And then your mind is, yep, I can't do it again. It's like, oh yeah, well, that was just luck because she knew my sister. Or, oh, she just happened to see me somewhere. Or, that person was just in a bind that night. So, they were just desperate or whatever. Just all of that crazy stuff. As soon as your mind thinks it, then you start bringing more of that in. And that's why you have to be super aware and not miss this first step in reviewing, getting present, writing it down, unveiling it, unraveling it. Make sure you know all of the results you got this year and you know exactly how you got them. All right. So once you have this part, you're really clear. You know what created the results, the chaos, the whatever it was, however it ended. Now you're going to navigate and not do things the same way. So you will make a list of the things that did work and you will keep doing that. You will make a list of the things that didn't work. You will quit doing that. Yeah? Okay, that's how you do it. So every time your brain wants to feed you some BS, you know what I call BS? Yes, it's bullshit, but it is your belief system. It's that old unconscious belief systems that says, I can't. There's not enough. It won't happen for me. That's the BS I'm talking about. You have to identify it. You have to be really clear and aware of it so that when it happens, you catch it. And here's the name of the game. Catch it and get rid of it as quickly as possible. And grab on to the belief of I can, I do, I will. So that's the navigating part. What you used to do, you no longer do. And what you used to be, you no longer are. Yeah? Okay. So that is the navigate process. So the first step, to be aware, to write it all down, know exactly what you did, what worked, what you want to do differently. The second step is you want to unveil all of the BS, all of the stories that says you cannot. And then you want to navigate. You want to take a new direction, new habits, new behaviors so that you can create something new. Guys, it sounds super simple and I say the same thing all the time, but there really is this, like you have to hear it and hear it and hear it and hear it until you finally hear it beyond the veil. So then you have the new lens and you kind of have more proof of the concept. Then once you step into that belief and you get a taste of the feeling, once you can feel it and you can truly believe it and you get those first few results, then it's a matter of rinse and repeat. But the problem is, this is why I call it more than mindset. The problem is not being aware of those unconscious thoughts that you think are so innocent. And because you're not writing them down and clearing them out of the way and you're not questioning them, you're letting them hang around. And they are not harmless. They are causing you harm. They're giving you results that you don't want. All right. So once you navigate, you want to create the vision of what it is that you're going to become, that you're going to bring in. You could be a number of clients. It could be a certain dollar amount. You see everything about her, how she dresses, what she drives, what she does, how she talks, what her copy is, who her clients are. Imagine that exact client and how you are going to feel once you're helping her. Imagine that exact amount in your checking account and how you are going to feel once you receive it. Then all of the action that you take moving forward comes from that feeling. You have to feel courageous and confident. You have to feel the belief or you will not be able to create it. It's more than the thought. So you're going to now take action. And what that's going to look like, you're going to choose to believe that new creation, that new story, that new goal. You're going to choose to believe who you're going to be at the end of 2020. I choose to be her. I choose it now. And you commit to that belief. Like you commit to holding on to that belief through the entire year. So much so that you cultivate as if it already were. And what that means is when you are in confusion and you're debating, like, should I let this go? Or should I try this again? Should I give her a discount? Maybe I should give her this free. Like when you're in that kind of debate, I want you to ask yourself, is the person at the end of 2020 that I am becoming going to do that? Like if I already had 20 paid clients, would I be negotiating this right now? Would I be negotiating my integrity, my service, my value? Would I be negotiating even this conversation with myself right now if I already had the clients and the income that I wanted to create? And all of your decisions come from that place. The whole entire year. Like this is going to be a game breaker for you. You're cultivating it as if it already were. And then you continue these same steps over and over. You keep choosing the belief. You keep committing to the belief. You keep taking the action as if it were already happened. And you will get the results guaranteed. Now, if you need help around this, it's probably because you're not identifying the unconscious thoughts. So if you say, Kim, you've been saying that, I've been doing that, I've been listening to this podcast all year, and it hasn't worked, then I'm telling you it's because you have an unconscious story running and it's your belief system. You don't recognize it because you believe it's true. You believe that your thought is a fact. And in that case, the next step would be get coaching. So I'm going to repeat this. And we're going to end this session, and I want you guys to get to work. What went well? What didn't? What will I change or adjust? Get really clear on exactly what is happening now. How did you get those results? What is the contrast that you came up with this year that did not work for you, that helped you to identify exactly what it is that you want, because now you know what you don't want. And then the third step is ask yourself all of the questions to unveil, to unravel, so that you can discover what the sneaky unconscious thoughts were. Notice, is this a thought or is this truth? Can I prove it? Have I just always been telling myself that, or someone else has told me that? What are the results that I've been getting from keeping that thought, from keeping that belief? What's the results that I have been producing? Because they are always a reflection of your belief. Always. Results are always a reflection of your belief. And if you get really clear and confident, then your results are going to show that. Because when you are clear and you are in belief, so much so that you're taking the action from that place, from that feeling, there is no way you are not going to get your results. Because you, my friend, are the one that's creating it. So once you unveil and you ask the questions, now you're going to navigate, because now you're aware. And so you're going to recognize. And when you recognize those old beliefs coming in, you're going to turn it around. You're going to turn it around. That's not me. That's not what I do. That's what I used to be. This is who I am now. This is what I create now. That doesn't work. I've tried that before. And I now know from the contrast that that's no longer what I want. And be willing to stay in that. Keep navigating. It's a redirecting the habit and behavior. And you do this before you create the new vision. So what happens is so many people are trying to create the new vision without doing these 3 steps. These 3 steps are the magic. You have to get rid of what was so that you can create what is. From here, you take massive action by choosing to believe, committing to believe, cultivating as if it were already true, continuing taking steps every single day. Get some coaching. Get some coaching on your thoughts. Get some coaching helping you see what you are thinking that you're not seeing. What are your beliefs that you're not recognizing? Because I can assure you, if you've been doing this work over and over and over and you say you've tried everything, I guarantee you, you have not tried everything. You've tried everything as the person that you were. You haven't tried everything from the person that you are becoming or that you are. And that is where most people go wrong. That's the flaw of attraction, is not thinking it, feeling it, believing it all the way through the 3 layers. And this goes for money, relationships, and health. So I know a lot of you entrepreneurs have been putting yourself out there and doing a lot of daring stuff, and your nervous system is like on fire because you've got anxiety and stress and you're freaking out, and you're freaking out because of those thoughts that are telling you that you can't and you're not good enough and you don't know enough, and comparing yourself and judging yourself to other people and other things in the industry and all of that stuff. And what's happening is your brain is on fire and it's trying to protect you and keep you safe. And it's like, hey, just come over here, throw in the towel. Let's feed the birds. Forget all that. Let's just go get an easy job. And I want to encourage you not to. Anyone who has the desire to create their own business can. You can. But you have to do the work to get rid of the part of you that says you can't. All right. Get your assessments done. Reach out to me. Let me know how it's going. You can let us know in the Integrative Life group. I'll have a post running in there to go along with this. And you can send an email to kim@kimguillory.com if you want to set up a strategy call so we can take a look at your business and see if you working with me is something that you want to do moving forward this year. I do have 2 groups coming up. I do this twice a year. One is starting in February. It'll go for 6 months, and then we'll have a second one. And if you think that that's something you may be interested in for mentoring, coaching on how to become a better entrepreneur, a better coach, and health and wellness leader, or healing practitioner, service-oriented, like what is it that you offer the world? And do you have a viable business package that you use as the container to get your work out into the world? Is it working for you? Do you have a steady flow of traffic, a steady flow of income? Are you in ease and flow? Are you showing up in service? Are you feeding that passion and purpose of yours? That's what I want to help you do. All right, until next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset. If you're feeling stuck on your journey to health, wealth, and relationships, head over to www.portal.kimguillory.com to learn more about the portal. It's a membership community where we take this work deeper, apply the concepts, and coach around the tough stuff.